Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and this is the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, the music podcast on where I interview singers and musicians from genres of black music: gospel, jazz, blues, old school classic soul, old school hip hop, today's hip hop and R&B, Caribbean, Latin, Afrobeat, Afro-Latina, blue-eyed soul, disco, go-go, line dances, and the Lost 45s. So come with me as I take you on to a trip to the destination genre of black music right now on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Legal Shield is a proud sponsor of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Have you been involved in any types of accidents? Have you been a victim of identity theft? Have you been a victim of a computer fraud scam? Have you been in disputes with your tenants or landlords? If your loved one dies and they didn't write up a will for you or for your family, or you and your spouse are filing for divorce, or if you need help by opening up your small business, give Legal Shield a try. Visit their website at LegalShield.com and tell them you heard it here on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Do it today. You'll be glad you did. Welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and I have a special guest on my show. And this gentleman that I'm about to introduce is an award-winning singer and songwriter representing the state of Kentucky. He is a singer who opened for many artists, which includes the Billies and Afro Man. He is a singer who sings genres of music: alternative rock, pop, rap, and grunge music. His new song, Other Side, which is out right now on YouTube. So please help me welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deven Roberts. Hi, Deven. How are you?
I'm doing well, Samuel. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to my show. It's a pleasure to have you here. And before I go on, you are the second artist I'm interviewing coming from the state of Kentucky. And
Awesome.
The first artist I've interviewed was Miss Stephanie Prince. She is the African-American violinist player that plays genres of music: classical and today's R&B and gospel and classic soul. So you are my second artist coming from the state of Kentucky.
All right. Well, again, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, as always, America doesn't know who you are. The world doesn't know who you are. So I'm very delighted to have you here on my show. So without further ado, let us begin, shall we? Now, as I mentioned, you're from the state of Kentucky. Which city or town were you born in the state of Kentucky?
I was born in Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky?
Yeah.
The home of boxing champ Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, were your parents or any of your family relatives were in the music industry, or did they had 9-to-5 day jobs?
They all had 9-to-5 day jobs, except for my biological grandfather, or at least to my knowledge. I don't think he worked a 9-to-5. I wasn't really close to him. I just know he played bass in a band all the way up until he passed away about 6-7 years ago now.
Okay. Well, first of all, my condolences goes out to you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Now, which high school did you go to?
I went to Lafayette High, and I finished my sophomore year at Breckinridge County.
Okay. And which college did you go to?
I am a high school dropout with a GED.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I was about to ask you the next question, but since you had dropped out, we'll skip on to the next question. Now, who did you want it to be when you grow up?
I wanted to play in the NBA.
Oh, so you're like 6 feet or 7 feet tall?
No, no, this was when I was 9 years old. I started playing basketball, which was my first love, and I immediately had the dreams of going to the NBA, going pro. Then by the time I was a freshman in high school, I realized that was not going to happen. And I'm 5'10", 5'11". Uh, yeah, so that was what I wanted to be, that or a tattoo artist. And music didn't click for me until I was about 16.
Okay. And you mentioned 16. How old were you when you started writing songs and singing?
I was 9 when I wrote my first rap, and that's how I got into music. My mom's boyfriend, who is now my sister's dad, they're no longer together, but obviously he's still her dad. He was a rapper based out of Louisville by the name of Flex, and I grew up without a dad, so I wanted to impress him. So I would memorize his rap songs, which were pretty good still to today's standards. And I wanted to take it a step further and write my own rap to impress him. And I spit this verse, and he thought it was good enough to record, so he took me to his mom's basement, which had his studio, and I recorded my first track at 9 years old, and picked it up again at 13 after I saw my brother play the guitar at my sister's funeral. I realized I wanted to play the guitar, and then I started fusing rap and guitar. And then from that, it started to evolve, and by the time I was 15, I was starting to sing, rap, and play.
Was being a singer and songwriter and rapper your calling?
Writing music is my calling for sure. Performing feels like it's a calling as well. Um, I just become someone different, and I don't know where that's going to take me. But I enjoy performing just as much as I enjoy spending time in the studio writing and producing.
Okay.
All the
Now,
extra stuff can go away.
oh, okay. Now, growing up, who were some of your favorite artists?
Outcast was huge. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. Man, that was big whenever I was like 8 and 9 years old. Huge. I would listen to that nonstop. So would my mom. Um, and there was this other guy. Like I said, her boyfriend, my sister's dad, Flex. He was a pretty big inspiration. As much as she would hate to hear that. Um, but another inspiration would be Rage Against the Machine. My mom had a pretty good balance between rock and hip hop. Um, Dead Prez. That's the classic song. It's bigger than hip hop. That song. That was huge. That still to this day gives me goosebumps. And yeah, Outcast, their Aquemini album, before Miss Jackson. When they were still relatively underground. My mom was pretty hip to the game when it comes to discovering new artists, and she also listened to trip hop too. My mom, my mom is really my biggest influence when it comes to my musical taste.
And who were your musical influences that had inspired you to sing and rap?
Um, the singing just happened organically from learning to play the guitar, because there's not many rap songs that you can learn on the guitar. Um, so I wouldn't say that there was a particular artist that influenced me to sing, but the ones who influenced me to rap were my mom's boyfriend at the time, and then those early mentions. And I guess what got me into the singing aspect and rap sort of carried over was hard rock bands like System of a Down, Korn. Actually, Korn is a huge influence of mine because they're a new metal band. Linkin Park. They fused perfectly, I think, rap that is clear, audible, and over pop hard rock melodies, and then you've got the hard rock chorus with Chester Bennington being the singer. So I'd say out of all the influences that I mentioned, the Linkin Park has to be up there.
Now, let's talk about the band Ivy Rye. Were you the lead singer and co founder of the band? And if so, what year was it founded and how many years was the group or band was in existence?
I would like to consider myself a co-founder because I was such an integral piece to our system. But the truth is that I did not found it. My good friend and previous bandmate, Colin Michael, he founded the band. But he founded it from the ashes of our band that we founded together, the Indigo Kids. And he founded Ivy Rye in, I want to say, 2017, 2016, 2017. Yeah. And we were together for 5 years until we split apart. And yes, I am the lead singer of Ivy Rye. And we are about to actually reform. So,
Okay. Now, after you left the band, you went solo and started singing in different genres. As I mentioned, you have sung alternative rock, pop, rap, and grunge music. How does your singing voice matches those genres?
pretty good, I think. Yeah, it just does. I don't know how it does. That's goes back to that thing of, do you feel like it's my calling? I just have a pretty good voice for this sort of stuff.
Now, since you went solo, how would you describe your sound?
I don't know. That's a good question because I have electronic influences with the production of the songs, but those are all alternative rock songs, and they come with a lot of emotion. Whereas the rap stuff, against the odds specifically, that was more ego driven, zero emotion involved, except for like a conceited place. But I knew it didn't have any real value. It was just there to entertain. But the stuff that I'm putting out now has real value. That's my best explanation. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Well, you answered it. You really answered it. Now, I got a chance to check out your song, which I saw it on LinkedIn, the song called Other Side, which is now available on YouTube. Please share with our audience on what that song is all about.
Well, this was shortly after the band had broken up, and this was the first song that I wrote. I had already had the chord progression written, or the vibe. It was a feeling. It was a very dark feeling. And after the band split apart, I then had the lyrics and the inspiration and the time to finish writing that song. The song is about me facing my own demons, really. I made a mistake which caused the band to break up, and I thought that my mistake was capable of being forgiven considering the amount of time, energy, and effort that we had invested into this band. I thought that the music was bigger than any of the trivial human day-to-day stuff, but it wasn't. And that was where I wrote from. It's like I was disappointed in everyone for giving up on me, even though it was to be expected. And I felt like I was a long way from where I wanted to be, which was to be forgiven, to be, perfect, disciplined, just a good dude in the eyes of my friends, family, and society. And I felt like I was a long way from there. So that's what the song is about.
Well, you're not the only one who has split from groups, because I've seen so many members who have either left, went on their own doing solos, or when you have like those members who are not happy with the money that is coming in, depending on the productivity if they're doing like two, three, or four tracks on an album and now EP, then the band members or the group or the artist get, frustrated and not paying close attention to the managers who gets the most productivity money, and then which causes that person to leave. And I've seen that in many groups or bands, and you're not the only one. And the second one, I got a chance to check out that video on YouTube. I was like, this is really scary. And you said it was really true, facing your demons. And
Yeah.
it's really true. We face that every single day. Yes. Now, speaking of that, will you be doing any collaborations with any artists in the future?
I would love to. Um, I reached out to a few that I've wanted to make some music with, but they were busy, or that's just what they said. It was probably just their nice way of saying they don't mess with my music. But with that being said, I'm open to all genres, all moods, all artists. I you know the more music we can make and put out there into the world, the better.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, you have opened for many artists, which includes the Vile Billies and Afro Man. That's the one that I know. Afro Man back in
Yeah,
2001. He's the one who
yeah,
sings Before I Got High. That's the
yeah,
one that I know.
yeah.
What's it like opening up for those two artists that I just mentioned?
Well, not to be rude, but I want to correct you on the name of the other band. Their name is the Ville Billies because they hail from Louisville. So they are the Ville Billies. Opening up for them was strange. It was my first performance. I was 16, and it was to a sold out Diamonds Music Hall in Louisville, downtown Louisville. There was like 1,500 people in attendance, and the mic had quit working for my guitar, and I didn't have a direct input jack. Um, so it was immediately, trying to learn on stage. It being my first performance in front of 1,500 people, and I still just had to continue to play through. It was a valuable learning lesson. I had fun. Was not a big fan of the music that I was producing at the time, but the band that I had with me, they were great dudes, and they were able to hold it together for me. Um, as for the Afro Man show, same thing. I had 3 days to put a band together, and I did it, and we were an eclectic group that had very little practice because we had interchanging pieces. But we got up there and did the best we could in front of 500 people, and they loved it. I talked to Afro Man. He didn't talk back. He just was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I did get to smoke a blunt with him, and I'm not a big smoker, but I couldn't pass it up. I was like, this is the legendary Afro Man. Of course I have to. And he had this big white fur coat on, like he's tall too, and his afro was massive. And that was great. It was great. He got to shred on a double necked Gibson SG, and I wasn't expecting that. And shred in terms of how rappers shred. He's way better than Lil Wayne. But it was good. It was fun. It was a blast.
Wow, it sure was. Now, here's a question I always ask my guests:
Okay,
living or dead, which artist that you wish you wanted to meet or to perform with?
Mac Miller. Yeah,
And
Mac Miller.
okay, yeah, so Mac Miller, that's the one he did the duet with Ariana Grande. Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good answer. Now, here on the Black Soul Music Experience podcast, I always ask my guests who are the best top 10 R&B, black, and hip hop artists of all time. Since I have you, Devin, we're about to do the Black Soul Music Experience Top 10 R&B, Black Hip Hop, Pop, and Grunge music of all time. Now, here's how it works. We
Okay.
start like a top 10 countdown, like the show, America's Top 10, hosted by the late Casey Kasem. We start at the bottom five, or who was the best singer but didn't get any recognition. In other words, they were the best singers, but the record label that they were on didn't promote them or market them. When we get to the top five, we will find out who was the best milling selling artist of all time. Did that artist receive those top 10 number one hits? Did that artist receive an album that had gold or platinum or double platinum or triple platinum or today's diamond platinum? Did that artist receive a Grammy or an American Music Award or an MTV VMA Award or a Soul Train Award or a BET Award? Or did that artist got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Did that artist performed on American Bandstand or Soul Train or the Midnight Special or NBC Saturday Night Live or Solid Gold? Or did they had that music video which was either aired on BET or MTV or VH1 or any other music video channel outlets? Did that artist had a prime time special on CBS or NBC or ABC? Or did they have that special on PBS, whether it's great performances or their special during Pledge Month? Or did they have that live concert special on HBO or Showtime? So, Devin, are you ready to take the challenge?
Yes, that sounds like a lot. I don't know those artists that well, but I'll give it my best shot.
Okay, and if you get stuck, I'll help you and I'll fill you in. Okay?
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Please do.
Alrighty. Who should be at number 10?
Are you going to give me options or you just want me to come up with one?
Either one. It could be any of the music genre that we are.
Okay. Um, Number 10, probably Collective Soul.
Ah, Collective Soul. Okay. They've been doing hits for a while back in the late 90s and early 2000s. They had a few hits, even though I'm not a fan of theirs, but they had a few hits back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So we'll put Collective Soul at number 10. Who should be at number 9?
Hmm. Cracker.
Ah, Cracker. Okay. We haven't heard from him in a while. He had a few hits back then. So we'll put Cracker at number 9. Who should be at number 8?
Most Def.
Ah, yes, Mos Def. He is a rapper, actor, and poet. He had some hits back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and yes, one of the greatest hip hop artists. And we'll put Mos Def at number 8. All right, who should be at number 7?
Ice Cube.
Ah, the one and only Ice Cube
Yeah.
representing the West
Never.
Coast. Former member of NWA, he started out from its inception. And as I said earlier, when it comes to members that did a lot of productivity, but they didn't get the money that they deserve. So after Ice Cube left NWA, he went on his own. He had some solo LPs, million selling LPs, and one of the best ones that I like is was Today Was a Good Day. I love that video. It started off just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know the days look seems a kinda odd. No barking from the dog, no smog. and Mama's cooking breakfast with no halt. I started out that flow. I love that video. And it tells the story on what he's been going through from the morning up until nighttime. And when I saw the ending of the music video, it was like, what's going on here? We got cops coming around. And that's just the flow, and that continues on to the next song, Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. And he had some string of hits back into the late 90s, into the early 2000s. Another song that I like was Be True to the Game. So that tells a story when you have so many African Americans reach up to the corporate ladder, but sometimes they always forget on whence they came from. So when Ice Cube tells that story in the music video, it's all true. So Ice Cube had done it all. He raps, he acts, he made his debut movie, Boys in the Hood. He had some other, including the Friday franchise, 1, 2, and 3, and the Players Club, which he also wrote and directed the movie. So hats off to Ice Cube, got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, along with Dr. Dre and some of the surviving members of NWA. So we'll put Ice Cube at number 7. Who
I
should
didn't
be
realize he got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Otherwise, I would have put him in the top five. Okay.
Yes,
All
yeah,
right.
because with all the group of NWA, everybody got reunited, and got inducted. So there you have Ice Cube. All
Okay.
right, who
Well,
should be at number 6?
Lauren Hill in the Fugees.
Ah, yes, Lauryn Hill and the Fugees came on the scene back in the early 90s, representing New Jersey. Lauryn Hill, who's a member along with Wyclef Jean and
And
Pras, both
most.
of them from Haiti, and they came on the scene with some real progressive hip hop rap and everything. They had their debut back in 1993 with Nappy Heads, and then the unthinkable 1996 with their LP, The Score. They had Ooh La La La. They were sampled off from the late Tina Marie song, and Killing Me Softly. First time we heard Lauryn Hill was singing, remix of
Yeah.
the late Roberta Flack's hit. So when I first heard the song, I thought it was doing a remake, but then they were sampling off from a track called Quest Benita Applebum. So I said, oh, okay. So Lauryn Hill got some singing chops and everything. And after Lauryn Hill left the Fugees, her solo LP, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, sold over 1 million copies in print. She won like 4 or 5 Grammy Awards for Best New Artist, Best Album of the Year, everything was going good. But the only thing that I didn't know that Lauryn Hill started acting. Back then I was watching VH1's Before They Were Stars. They were showing a clip from As the World Turns, aired on CBS Daytime, and they was showing a scene from Lauryn Hill. I was like, that's Lauryn Hill on As the World Turns? I was like, oh wow, because she would had that short fro from back in the day. And then later she made in the movie Sister Act 2 that starred with Whoopi Goldberg and the late Maggie Smith and an all-star cast which had James Coburn, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Yo-Yo, just to name a few. So Lauryn Hill has done it all, even though we haven't seen her in a while performing. So Lauren, if you're out there, we love you. We missed all of your hits and everything. So Lauryn Hill, we all thinking about you. So we'll put Lauryn Hill at number 6. Who should
Wow.
be at? Yes.
Another terrible guess. I didn't realize she won 5 Grammys.
Yes. Five
But
Grammys.
that makes sense.
Yes, 5 Grammys for that million selling LP. And yes, she performed that on NBC Saturday Night Live. She has done some other appearances. So, Lauren, we love you and we wish you well. Put Lauren Hill at number 6. Who should be at number 5?
Okay, and this is people with accolades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dang. There's a few that I want to reverse. Okay. Can I lump Dr. Dre and Eminem together?
Yes, Dr.
Okay.
Dre, Eminem, yes. And Eminem, he came on the scene in 1999 representing 8 Mile section of Detroit, Michigan. When I saw that music video on MTV, he said, "Hi, my name is who? My name is what? My
Yeah.
name is Slim
Slim
Shady."
Shady.
And
Yeah.
then when I saw the music video, I saw Dr. Dre in the music video. I was like, "Yo, Slim Shady, man, I think you're wasted." I was like, I would never knew that Dr. Dre would produce, and Eminem discovered Eminem because Eminem was influenced by Dr. Dre and NWA. So Eminem was following Dr. Dre, so made a couple of videos. I mentioned my name is Slim Shady, and his follow-up video, Guilty Conscience, and they were flowing together. And another song that I like, Forgot About Dre. So it was flowing. So
Yeah.
they're still teaming up with some different duets, and not only that, producing other artists as well. So we'll put Dr. Dre along with Eminem at number five. Who should be at number four?
Hmm. Man. Could it be a producer?
Yeah, it could be a producer.
Rick Rubin.
Ah, yes, Rick Rubin. Not only he was a producer, he was the co-founder of Def Jam Recordings, along with Joseph Simmons. I was going to say Russell Simmons, but Joseph Simmons was the co-founder, along with Rick Rubin, of Def Jam Recordings, founded back in 1985. He was the producer who had artists on the record label, which includes LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Nice and Smooth, Third Base, The Beastie Boys, just to name a few. So Rick Rubin has been on the scene back in the 80s when hip hop became mainstream, all the way from the 80s up until today. So we'll put Rick Rubin, the founder of Def Jam Recordings, at number four. All right, we're up to number three.
Hmm. And this is, are you gonna make a comparison to see if my number one is the number one of all time?
Yeah.
Or okay, okay. Oh, well, these are terrible guesses then. Um, I'm not. I don't know why I'm gonna say this, but I'm not a big Mariah Carey fan. But I feel like
Mhm.
she would be up there when it comes to accolades and Grammys and awards and stuff like that.
Okay, we'll put Mariah Carey at number three. She came on the scene back in 1990 with her debut song Vision of Love from her self titled debut LP back in 1990. She performed the song on the Arsenio Hall show and then again on NBC Saturday Night Live season premiere September 1990. She had other hits follow, including Love Takes Time to Heal, and follow up her second LP, Emotions, with the song Include Emotions and Make It Happen and Can't Let Go. other albums have followed, including the MTV Unplugged album and other hits, including Butterfly, Honey, and other albums, including The Emancipation of Mimi, and all of her hits. But she'll be best remembered for her Christmas album,
Yeah.
includes All I Want for Christmas Is You. Now, that's
Yeah.
one of the top best airplay ever during the holiday season. So she'll be best remembered for that one. So we'll put Mariah Carey at number three. Who should be at number two?
Prince.
Yes, the Royal Badness, Prince, singer, songwriter, producer, musician, arranger, came on the scene back in the late 70s with his hit I Wanna Be Your Lover, and other hits have followed, including Purple Rain, or from the movie Purple Rain. It was a number one box office movie back in the summer of 1984. His songs from his soundtrack LP, including When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, and Take Me With You. Not only that, he had some other songs that weren't hits for him, but it became hit for others. For example, Nothing Compares to You. It wasn't a hit for him, but it became a hit for the late Sinead O'Connor, top 10 hit. Another song, I Feel For You, wasn't a hit for him, but it became a hit for Miss Shaka Khan in 1984. And the other one, including Do Me Baby, it wasn't a hit for him, but it became a hit for Miss Melissa Morgan. It went to number one on Billboard's R&B Black Singles Charts in 1986 of January. And he wrote the song Manic Monday for the Bangles. So top 10 hit for those girls back in 1986. Other hits including the Bat Dance from the Batman motion picture soundtrack, Kiss from his LP Under the Cherry Moon and Revolution, and also he did some producing for other artists including Patti LaBelle and many others. He was best known for his strut purple outfit, the boots and everything, and his influence was the late James Brown, known for his splits and everything. So
Yeah.
he kept on performing until he passed away in 2016, got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 2005. We'll put Prince at number two. Okay, we're up to number one. Okay, let me help you. I will put Michael Jackson up there at number one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I was gonna say it's either Michael Jackson, the Beatles, or Led Zeppelin, or Elvis.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll put Michael Jackson at number one, the king of pop and everything. Won a lot of accolades, Grammy, American Music Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee for the class of 1997 and 2001. Kept performing until he passed away in 2009. So we'll put MJ, the king of pop, at number one. Well, Devin, thank you so much for being here on the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. It's been a
Thank you for
pleasure.
having me.
Okay. Now, before we go, where can we follow you on social media?
All of my social media handles are the same. It's Deven Roberts Music, and my name is spelled Deven. So it's Devin like seven, Roberts Music. And on X, you can find me at Deven Roberts 95.
Okay. Download all the artists that we have talked about on this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Visit iTunes.com, Spotify.com, or purchase a CD at Amazon.com. Make sure you follow Deven Roberts. Look for him at Deven Roberts Music. Also look for him on X. And be sure to check out that song, Other Side, right now on YouTube. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out this episode, please subscribe by going to the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s. Don't forget to add the S at the end, -studio. We'll be posting this episode on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you have a hard time getting on to riverside.fm, then please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And if you have a hard time getting on the Patreon, then we'll be posting this episode on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. If you like this episode, if you love my podcast, please subscribe, please support, please give me a thumbs up, please leave a comment, and please pass it on. Thank you for joining me as I close out this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience. Well, that's about it for this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. I'm Sam Wilson Jr. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week for an all-new episode. The Black Soul Music Experience Podcast is sponsored by the support of listeners and viewers like you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Look for my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And don't forget the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel-Wilson Jr.'s -studio. And don't forget to check out my audio and video podcast episodes by becoming a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And please check out my video podcast episodes by subscribing to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And please leave your comments, feedbacks, and replies by going to my Facebook homepage. Go to facebook.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. You can also tweet me on X, aka Twitter, at Sam Wilson Jr. 66. And follow me on Instagram at SAMM.Y2980. As always, partying, remember this. Reach for the top and your dreams will come true, and it can happen to you. From all of us, take care. God bless. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, and please be safe.